Okay, I guess everybody has joined. Yes, hello everyone. A very good evening and a warm welcome to the third day of Earth Summit 2021. I am Saili Jagirdar and I am the owner of Pune's first upcycled cafe, which is named as Zillionth Bistro. This is in Kothrood. So what we do is, along with burgers, we are also committed to reduce our own carbon footprint as a business.
Done.
And I got this opportunity to do some effective waste management. So since that was a personal agenda, we decided to do my cafe with upcycled interiors. So most of us know what recycling is, but not everyone knows what upcycling is. I will be sharing some photos about of the cafe, of the upcycling concept in the comment section as soon as I finish, so you can understand what we are doing in upcycling. So basically, we are using discarded products and we are redoing entirely new interiors out of that. For example, you will see a curtain made out of bottles, or you'll see sofa sets made out of discarded jeans or denims, and so on and so forth. So it is interesting. This is also one of the reasons why Zillion Bistro is one of the collaborators today. And coming to collaborators, let me also run you through the other collaborators for Earth Week Summit that we have. We have Samuchit Envirotech, which is a social enterprise working on appropriate technologies, urban sustainability, and carbon counting. We have Laya Resource Center, which is an NGO working towards building resilience amongst tribal and Adivasi communities on social justice, climate change, and sustainability in general. Then we have INECC, which is also known as INEC, which is Indian Network on Ethics and Climate Change. And this is a network of organization and individuals working towards climate policy and advocacy with the help of people. Our other collaborators are Climate Collective Pune, which is a network of individuals and organizations working towards making Pune carbon neutral. We also have Urja Box, which is headed by Vishaka Chandere, which is involved in creating awareness on sustainable cooking techniques. And we also had a session of Urja Box in our day 2 session, which was yesterday. We also have Vayu Mitra, which deals with biogas generation using kitchen waste. Uh, we have RRBCEA, which is Rupa Rahul Bajaj Center for Environment and Arts, uh, who is a partner with Agri Horticultural Society of Western India, established for creating awareness through activities on environment and art. This is situated in Empress Garden. This center is located in Empress Garden in Pune. We also have Black Gold. Black Gold was also one of the speakers in our yesterday's session. So Black Gold is a budding enterprise which deals with biochar and the very many applications of biochar. So these were a little about the collaborators that we had today. Today's webinar is spread across. It's about sustainable water management, and we have two speakers. First, we have Colonel Shashikant Darvi, followed by Priyadarshan Sahasrabuddhe, and we also have another guest speaker named Shrikant Narvekar, who will share his initiative with water treatment. So the focus of Colonel Shashikant Darvi and Priyadarshan Sahasrabuddhe will be around sustainable water management. Let me give you a bit of brief about the first speaker. So Colonel Shashikant Darvi is an ex-army person working relentlessly towards tapping rainwater and making societies tanker free. He's been a mentor at the Climate Reality Project and a national convener for water harvesting. He has also been inspiring the youth for conserving water and working towards climate action through various awareness drives, lectures, workshops, etc. We are told that he's a bit unwell, but he has ensured that he will make it today to this session to address all of us. So the pattern that we will follow today is we will take up questions related to rainwater harvesting immediately for him after his session is over. So as he is running through his webinar, I request you all to please put questions related to that in the comment box. So with this, I would like to hand over the session to Colonel Shashikant Darvi. So
Thank you, Ameya.
Colonel Darvi, just 1 minute.
Okay.
Purnima, are you there on the call? Purnima?
Yes, I'm there. Yes, I'm here.
You haven't started recording.
Oh, okay. Yes, I just streamed live. Yeah,
I've been trying to message you in chat. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was posting on WhatsApp. Okay. Yeah. Started. I just started.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ameya, for the good introduction. Don't go by the front, what you are seeing, World Water Day, blah, blah. Today is, tomorrow is actually, matter of fact, the Earth Day, Sundara Divas. So I'll just speak for 2 minutes on that. The topic, the theme for this year's is restoration of the planet, restoration of the Earth, Punarjivan of Vasundhara. A very good article was written by Dr. Priyadarshini in Lok Satta few days back. Those who have you haven't read it, please go through it. It's a wonderful article. What is coming, I'm coming at it is that we are responsible in last 250 years. We wanted to grow. Why not? Everybody has to grow economically. We have to grow. We have to improve. That's why we have reached this stage. Today I'm speaking to you from sitting at my home. But for doing this, somehow we have lost the track of the upkeep of the environment. All of you are working in the fields. What Ameya introduced in her initial talk. So many people are here who are working in different fields. So friends, unless until we keep our only house in this universe in order, we are not going to, human being is not going to last long. For this, some people say, कि sir, क्या बात कर रहे हो? ये तो होगा नहीं. इतने सालों से चलता आ रहा है. What has happened, unfortunately, with us is we are self-centered. We only think of us. We do not think of other flora, fauna, or all beings on this. Biodiversity is probably totally neglected. Just to give you a small example, every day, if I stand, you can correct me, we lose forest cover worth 1 football field every second. And you can imagine how much damage it is causing. Water is running short, totally running short. I'll be speaking to you, and Priyadarshini also will be speaking to you on this topic after me. So it is, and you know, all of us are aware that water is the only thing which is required for everything, every activity on this planet. There is no water, we run short. But I will not take much of your time. So whatever activity we are doing, whatever actions we are doing now, I'll only suggest before I close on this particular small talk of 2-3 minutes is let us reduce our carbon footprint. Let us change our lifestyle. Reduce wastages. Plastic, everyone talks. We try and do so many things about it, but still nothing is coming under control. Maybe there is a definite positive side because everybody is working sustainability. you people are working in sustainability. Wonderful work you people are doing. But I think it is still, if you see the target dates 2030, 2050, I think it runs short. Fortunately, I'm lucky because I've already 74, so few more years, and then I won't be able to see the doomsday, if at all it is going to happen. Well, friends, I will switch over to only thing. Once again, I will repeat to all of you, please take care of our only house. We cannot change it to any other place. Posting ho jati hai, to we switch over from Pune to Bombay. Here, there is no chance. Whatever we have damaged, it is only we have damaged, so we have to correct it. And I'm sure with so many youngsters going around here, people like mentors like Dr. Priyadarshini to guiding you, I'm 100% sure that together we can make some progress, a positive progress. Today I'll be speaking to you about the rainwater harvesting. Basically, I'll be speaking to you about theme that time was, so I was talking about it. But otherwise, what we have to see is what is the present water crisis? What is the availability of water on this planet? Especially if we talk about India, between 1951 and 2011, our availability of water reduced by 70%. It is a fact, friends. It is, we are using it water like air. We take the water for granted. Now it is fact because planet Earth is an aqueous planet. From when the people started taking photography from the space, when it is a absolutely blue planet, indicating that there's a lot of water on this planet. 75% of our surface is covered with ocean water, and only 1% is the fresh water. And on that 1% of the fresh water, now of course 7,700 crore people have to depend, plus agriculture, industry, everything depends upon this. Availability of water is a major crisis. And because of this, because ultimately what we have got, 1% of fresh water, and that major water source on this planet is rainwater. And that rainwater, fortunately, differs from place to place. It is not all over the annual rainfall is same. It is not so. So there is some part of water when it falls down on the surface, percolates down, what is formed is the groundwater. Rampant over-extraction of the groundwater has resulted in rapid depletion of groundwater. Niti Aayog says that so many cities are now running short of water. It is a fact. The groundwater, Pune, we are lucky in a sense. We have got so many rivers. Out of that, 5 rivers. Dev Nadi is dead. Ram Nadi is on the verge of dying. Balance of 3 rivers, unless until we take care of them, they too will run. But there are Jeevit Nadi and other Bodhankar Sahab and Shailaja, all those people are day and night working on this to make these rivers live. So groundwater is another, and water pollution, of course. Let's talk better. And then since all of us, I can say proudly that yes, all of us are the students of global warming and climate change. What you see here in front of you is, in this 250 years after, or more than that, after the industrial revolution, whatever is sea requires energy. For our growth, we require energy, and this energy comes easily available fuel was fossil fuel. Take out the dung, the soil, and take out the coal. It was started with coal. Subsequently, crude oil we got, and then we got petrol, diesel, CNG gases, natural gases, everything, whatever we were able to get it. But they are fossil fuels. So when you burn them, they generate carbon dioxide. To give you one small example, you burn 1 liter of petrol or diesel, roughly approximately 2.54 kgs of carbon dioxide released into atmosphere. Just to give a hypothetical example, Pune has got a population of 5 million, 50 lakh plus. And if the RTO's figures are correct, last year almost 40 lakh vehicles were there registered. Total in Pune city is over 40 lakh. Even if you use 1 liter of petrol oblique diesel in those vehicles, imagine more than 10,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide generated every day into the Pune's atmosphere. And carbon dioxide's life is 100 years. So even if you stop today by a magical wand, as a carbon dioxide band, फिर भी it will take, the effect will start taking only after 100 years. So friend, this is required. You can't stop this. When we had COP21 in 2015, that is Conference of Parties in Paris, there the people gave their own commitments. They were not binding, legally binding, but everybody is still going around. Not enough progress is made, but hopefully people will start working on that. Now, what happens is, we were talking about only Pune. One only sector I took is that was the transport sector. Every sector generates energy. Now, if you see, these are the figure of the NASA. 500,000 Hiroshima type of atomic bombs. If you explode, that much of energy is generated. Now imagine the amount of energy generated on this planet, where it is going to go. Dirty energy goes, 90% of this heat trapped by the man-made goes into ocean. Obviously, ocean waters are going, they are heated up. Let us not go into how much they are heated, but the water cycle has been taught to us in school days. Everyone is aware of the water cycles. So what happens is, when we see the ocean water temperature rises, it is totally disturbing our monsoon cycles. Earlier, good old days, you ask your parents, those who are above 50, probably, yes, you can ask them, and probably you also may be knowing it, that 7th of June, when Mruga Nakshatra used to start in this part of state, in this Maharashtra, generally we used to get, means give 5-10 days here and there, but generally to start
Dalvi sir, your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking.
Yeah.
So what should I do?
So I think you can just turn off your video.
What do you
maybe.
want? Suggest me something?
Yeah, you can turn off the video, maybe. So,
Okay, okay. I
just try.
Okay, no problem, no
Yes,
problem.
yeah,
Let's
we
see.
can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to come at is that the water cycle is now totally shifted, distorted, as a matter of fact. We say now it is starting almost in June, end of July. Temperatures are rising very rapidly. Extreme climatic events is happening. The other day only we saw the wildfires in India. They are catching up very badly. Unfortunately, we are not seeing, the Maharashtra is not experiencing in a big way. There are small places, some places here, but otherwise world over it is happening, whether it's a flood followed by a drought, hailstorms. It is just few days back or few weeks back, we had Maharashtra experience the hailstorms. Everything is disturbed. And because of what? Because of the global warming. So we know the reasons for global warming. It happened by, I'm not able to. Right. Just give me a second.
Okay.
I'm not able to shift to my slides. Why? What is lockdown?
Just click twice. I think it must have got freezed.
Okay, no problem. If I'm not able to, why waste time? You people are waiting since.
You can try
no.
resharing.
Yeah. Maybe if possible.
Stop
can I do?
sharing and share again.
Again, I go to new share.
Yeah, stop sharing this one and again
Stop
share
share.
the presentation.
Okay, Dr. Saab, I stopped this. Where again share screen. Then I go here. Share.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
You have to tolerate me for this. Not being
No
technical savvy,
problem.
I get stuck. Yeah.
No problem,
Okay,
Karan.
fine. Let us run through this. This is a slide everybody knows about it. Only one thing which I want to tell you is the amount of water on this planet is constant. We may change. Today, for 100 years, Pune is having 770 millimeters of or 750 millimeters of rainfall. It may change here, but the total sum of this planet will remain same. This is what we know. We have been taught in schools. Now, how much everybody share, it has been told all over the world. Agriculture consumes a hell lot of water. Even though every prime minister, and everyone says that per drop more crop. Unfortunately, we are still going for the sugar. Actually, the crops which you give with the money, cash crops and required crops से ज़्यादा cash crop के ऊपर water guzzlers, whether it's banana or whether it's sugar cane, anything. So gentlemen, that consumed 70%. Industry, when it came up, without doing it 22%. Unfortunately, let me tell you, Maharashtra government. Maharashtra has got a GR, which is known as the Shivakalin Pani Satvani Yojana, published in 2002. April 2002, it makes it mandatory for all the government and public buildings to have rooftop rainwater harvesting. I'm appealing to everyone, governments everywhere, but why not industry? Because their rooftops are more than acre, one rooftop, and they are not doing it. MIDC supplies them water at a cost. That is not the issue of today, but what I'm telling you is how we are not using water judiciously. We are not water wise, friends. Domestic, whatever is balance left is given to us. Average rainfall, fortunately, India has got more than the world average rainfall, though it is highly skewed. Those of you who have been to Rajasthan, etc., Barmer, Jaisalmer receives about 125 plus millimeters of rainfall. Pune receives 750. Bombay receives more than 2,500. That means it's a totally skewed distribution. Population is almost now 18% of the world. And our share in the 1% of the fresh water on this planet is 4%. नाइंसाफी है, population is 18%, fresh water is 4%. Bhagwan is not giving correct distribution of water to population wise. Okay. Jokes apart, if you see the history of rainwater harvesting, I am telling you this thing is, so I said taps came to your and my house, friends, maybe 50, 60 years back, in cities at least. We have forgotten about this. Whatever you are seeing in front of you is, we are totally forgotten about this. I'm not going back to 4,500 BC, what happened in Rajasthan in those days, about 6,500 years back. But recently, Peshwa or Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, on all his hilltop forts, everybody was staying there. What was planned was rainwater harvesting. Water was made available. Whether you visited, many of you have visited the Rajasthan forts. You must have seen there also, they proudly say, yes, this was the system which they were using. We have forgotten. We only think we remember is, अरे पानी नहीं आया सोसाइटी में, टैंकर मंगवा लो, नहीं है तो एक बोरवेल करो, पानी निकालो. अरे यार, मदर अर्थ must be crying or laughing, I don't know. She must be saying, यार जहाँ रहते हो छत के ऊपर, सर के ऊपर पानी दे रही हूँ मैं, and you are neglecting that. That is what it is. We are known as one of the oldest rainwater harvesters. How much water is we are supposed to get authorized as per the WHO standards? We are supposed to get about 135 to 150 liters. Pune, they say they supply us 135 liters per day per person. Check the list. Why I'm more interested in telling you is this. Check these two items, that is bathing and washing. That is 65 liters. You know, good old days, गांव में रहते थे सब लोग. I also am from Kolhapur. Nani ghar, water used to wash away, and then used to go out, and it used to go out Parasdar, and there used to be a garden. Many of it, still today, it's happening in many small villages. So this is the Sandpani आपण त्याला म्हणतो, grey water was being used by our parents, grandparents, and they would use it very beautifully. Shivgas hazard and all those trees, fruit trees, Perus hazard, flowers, everything. Now, of course, in the multi-story buildings, we are neglecting these two particular things. 65 liters is a hell of a big amount per day per person, friends. Are we 165 liters per day per person? 135 liters? No. Unfortunately, Pune, despite High Court's order, they have not yet done equal water distribution. They are planning, but it's planning on the ground. Things are happening very slow. What we are getting is place like 80 liters. You go further up, further down towards the Bagoli, etc., which that now 25 more villages have come in. There we get about 40 to 50 liters per day per person. Obviously, people are going to demand tanker waters or dug a borewell. Dug a borewell and take out the water without recharging them. Now, of course, we have touched upon this. Don't go by these figures of 5,200 borewells. This is 2006 figures, which I got it from the Groundwater Survey and Development Agency, GSDA. I have mentioned you some of these details, which everyone knows because you people are working in environmental field, so you know it, what is happening practically on the ground. Even if you say the government of India keeps sending these letters, in which I mentioned to you, if you see the first few lines itself, it says that annual ground extraction in the country is by highest in the world. 25% of the groundwater is extracted by India alone. China and US together, they withdraw 18%. We are at 25%. It is unsustainable. But that's why if you come to the 5th paragraph that is last here, you'll find that government authority says that everything, whether it's industrial establishment or everything, rooftop rainwater harvesting is a need of the hour. Let me do one small incident here only, since I'm here. 2017, July, I was in Parliament. Urban Development Ministry has invited me to discuss about, there were 2-3 agencies also, to discuss about rainwater harvesting in metropolitan cities. It was pouring that day. The ministers and the group of ministers came late. Obviously, it was pouring, so they came wet totally. So they said, "Saab, kitna pani beh raha hai?" I had stayed for almost 6 years in Delhi during my army days in army headquarters. मैंने बोला यार आप लोगों ने रूल बनाए, whatever rooftop harvesting you said it should be done, but water from rooftop flows onto the road. And naturally, the stormwater drain capacity is not there, so everything overflows. Happens in Pune also. Now, what are the factors affecting water crisis in Pune? Everyone knows. 100% domestic sewage. Here, domestic sewage, you add 25 villages. All of us were reading for 5-6 years now. Yeah, aane wale hai, aane wale hai, aane wale hai. Why couldn't these things were planned in advance? Sometimes I am amazed. Because the army, fortunately, we have got something known as a prospective planning department. We work on the enemy's weapon system, the threat perception, and then plan. Whatever we get from the government is a monetary matter. We don't go into that detail. But something is done, projected. When I walk into the, or many of you walk into the corporation and you find this is it there? It's not there. Unequal water distribution, I told you, large amount of water loss. The Central Water Commission, which looks after the dams also, what they say is, in India, metropolitan cities, 40% water is lost in transportation. Means 100 liters of water starts its journey from Kadakwasla to you and my house. The old leaking pipes, even after the filtration plant, by it reaches us, 40 liters is lost. Imagine. we talk about the water management in these days, and this is how losses take place. There is no water conservation policy, friends. You and me go out abroad. Whenever I go abroad, my children stay there. So I go to their so-called municipal corporations and ask them what are their policies. And policies are very clear. Most of the places where I had been to UK, I had been to Singapore, I had been to Australia. What they say is, you cannot wash your cars with the corporation water. You got no right to do that, because that's a filtered water. If you see 40 lakh vehicles, and even if you say 2.5 liters of water is used daily to wash them, 1 crore liters of water is wasted every day in Pune alone in cleaning the vehicles. इसलिए चिल्लाते हम कि भाई पानी की समस्या है, कमी है. ये हम ही नहीं कर सकते तो कौन आके करेगा? कोई नहीं करेगा. There are a lot of other things also in conservation. Everyone knows leaking taps in the houses, use of shower and blah blah, which is normally told to people. Non-implementation of rainwater harvesting policy. Government of Maharashtra policy, I told you in 2002, Shivakalin Pani Satwan Yojana. Pune Municipal Corporation 2007, they have made it mandatory for all the new buildings to have a rooftop rainwater harvesting system. Itna hota hai, you buy house, how many of you are aware in public domain, or the builder has provided you with the rooftop rainwater harvesting system? You can contact me if you have got one. We'll just rush through. We talk about the water wars. Friends, 5-6 years back, brush up your energy. It had come in paper. The Jaikawdi Dam that is supplying the water to the Marathwada region, especially the Aurangabad and that water first region. The High Court says 10% water from Nagar Dam and Nashik Dam will be released to these two dams. People came on road. I'm talking about Maharashtra, within our own state. They say, "Hum ek boond bhi denge nahi pani." Again, High Court was approached. They have to put police all along the canal. Imagine. And when we talk about, forget about what happens with Brahmaputra or Pakistan ke saath hamara water problems kya hai. We will not discuss into that. But this is a fact. Few years now downwards, we are going to face these things. We have seen this. Drop. You lose a drop, and then more than 10,000 liters per year we lose. So let us come to this now. This is where we were actually to be with you. Every building, whether it's a single-story building or I have worked, fortunately, I got opportunity to work in 6 different states, and whether it's a tribal region, tribal districts, or the cities like Pune, Bombay. Friends, it is same. क्या चाहिए आपको? एक छत चाहिए. Every building has been provided with the downtake pipe, and that's the end of it. Then the water flows onto the, या तो sewage में छोड़ देते हैं या drain में छोड़ देते हैं, but it leaves. It is not used by you and me. What we do is we put a filter so that from the whatever is the bird dropping or the leaves or dirt which is on the top of the roof goes through the filter and it's clean. It is directly injected into the borewell. It's directly connected to the borewell. I did this first experiment in our society in 2003. Retired in 2002. I took a flat in Viman Nagar, Pune. Viman Nagar was in a bad shape. We were buying 3 tankers a day those days, whether it's come monsoon, rains or anything. One borewell, it is to water level at 225 feet. 30 minutes a day was a water supply from that, negligible. Whatever I have seen, there was no case study available in those days in Maharashtra, multi-story complex or even single-story buildings, it wasn't there. So whatever I had seen in Rajasthan, I stayed in Rajasthan for almost 9 years because war games used to take place only in Rajasthan. Only place available where we can, massive scale war games can be played there. Whatever we have seen there while moving from village to village. So I decided to use that. And then I trained a team and did it on our society, and the Mother Earth helped us in a big way. On 12,000 square feet of rooftop of our society, we were able to get almost 9 lakh liters of water per year. And that is to go every year religiously down into our borewell. From that year onwards, our tanker water dependency becomes zero. And water table today stands at 60 feet from 225 feet. So then I decided, why not? If I can do it, you can do it. I'm a normal person here, like you and me. So when we could do it, our team and our society could support us. And that is how my journey started. Anybody can do it. It is doable and economical thing. It's not by. Let me tell you one small example. Last year, 2019 June, June, I got a call from one Professor Vijaya Patil from Nandurbar. Now she said कि करना साहब हमें 45 days में एक बार पानी आता है नंदुरबार म्युनिसिपालिटी से. Imagine, and think of yourself in Pune if you start getting water once in 45 days. Create a scenario. Okay, fine. And there she says कि हमारे वहाँ पे छोटे-छोटे घर होते हैं, इंडिपेंडेंट बंगलोज होते हैं. So she said कि मेरे यहाँ तो बोरवेल है, सब कुछ है, बट रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग किया नहीं. मैंने बोला यार मुझे आना वहाँ मुश्किल है, दूर है बहुत. तो देन वी स्टार्टेड. मैंने बोला व्हाट्सएप पे फोटो भेज दे, अपना इंजीनियर जो भी है, प्लम्बर है, उनके साथ ले ले. एंड I guided them from sitting here, like what I'm speaking to you. She used to take whatever work has been done and show me the photographs, and we did it. And that year she received the rainfall during the monsoon. 7 days का काम हुआ उनका, and she is very happy. She said कि सर मेरी पानी की समस्या दूर हो गई, और मैं अभी जहाँ पर प्रोफेसर मैं सबको बता रही हूँ, वो भी करने लगे. That's what I'm thinking. It's a doable thing. It is not something like a rocket technology where you require a lot of things. Nothing. Why to harvest rain? अभी रामायण तो पढ़ लिया कि पानी की समस्या है, तो कोई जरूरत ही नहीं एक्स्ट्रा बताने की. और सेकेंडली, जिनके जिनके सोसाइटी में टैंकर आता है, फ्रेंड्स, माय स्मॉल रिक्वेस्ट, climb on this tanker, have a peek into this tanker and see what is there. 99.9% you will find rusted inner body, and there is a काई जमी हुई है, वो पानी we buy it at the cost. Again, being a Fauji, I go back to we also got a tanker water. Whether it's a Rajasthan, whether it's a Nifa or a places where we're in jungles, we do not get adequate amount of water. So what we do is we have got tankers which every year go to designated workshops where it is scrapped from inside, repainted with the waterproofing paints, kept the water for 72 hours. Dr. Saab goes there, lab analysis done, he gives a certificate that this tanker water is safe for human consumption. Pune does it? No city in India does it. I checked up with Pune Saab, किसके पास टाइम है, कौन देखेगा जाके, कौन करेगा ये, good. So that is how I'm saying it. It is we can do it. Self-dependency, Atmanirbhar, you can do it. You got enough amount of potential. When we talk of water potential, you imagine 100 millimeters of rainfall on 1,000 square feet of a catchment area like a rooftop, you get 10,000 liters of water. Imagine, Bombay receives 2,500 millimeters of rainwater. I used to tell those people, 2.5 lakh लीटर बारिश का पानी हर साल उनके 1,000 square feet rooftop पे गिरता है. Are they using it? Are we using it judiciously? Unfortunately and sadly, we are not doing it. What you require is 3 things. Builder gives you 2 things. Or if you are building your own house, you have got 2 things. Storage. Mother Earth gives you storage also. झरना है, underground aquifers are there, उसके ऊपर borewell है आपका, छोड़ दो उसके अंदर. She will take care of it. And when I talk it, पहले मैं खुद करके देख लिया. Now I talk it confidently. मैंने देखा है खुद, मेरे पास एक्सपीरियंस है, जितने हमने प्रयोग किए सभी जगह पे यही एक्सपीरियंस है. Storage is groundwater. Your own underground streams are able to help you. नहीं, there are places where there is no underground stream on that particular patch of land. put a syntax tank in those independent bungalows. They have put the water there, and then the water supply reduces after monsoon. They used to use that. It can be used, gentlemen. From where all you can do it. Yes, storm water hai, paved areas hai. Anywhere, wherever rain falls, you can collect it and do it. People are doing it wonderful work. Literally wonderful work. News 18 had organized a program, Mission Pani. They invited me like that. There were so many people from so many corners of India working there. I was amazed to see them. Literate ho ya illiterate ho, pani ka kaise istemal karna hai. Because one who suffers. I'll tell you a simple example. I did the first project in Marathwada was in Bid. Kamkheda village about 3 years back now. They are totally tanker water free. They used to get from November to June. Government used to supply them water, and they used to get 80 liters of water per day per household. Mark my word, per household, not per person. I used to tell when I through NIA newspaper and education, I used to go and tell the school and college students, please take a picnic to those 5 hours run from here and go and visit those people in the small villages and see the condition. क्या होता है यार 80 लीटर per day per household, कुछ नहीं होता. And when you talk to them, बोलते साहब रोज थोड़ी नहाते हैं, उसमें बाहर कहीं जाना होता है वही नहाता लोग नहीं. What I am trying to tell you is, gentlemen, make use of this. It is a very important factor. Don't miss once you see these people who are suffering, and now they are very happy. They are getting water, and complete scenario is changed there. Well, I told you about storage, etc. I will not go to various systems, what we have done, wherever, etc. Whether you require a slanting roof, anything. मैंने यहाँ से, I'll tell you, IIT Powai, through one of my friend in Bombay, he works in this particular field, is rainwater mission, Paranjape. He and me, we went to Karzat. There is Adivasi Padas. And there, Adivasi, you must have seen the Adivasi villages. They got thatched hut. And they wanted to do rainwater harvesting. There are about 35 huts there. So we put the plastic sheet and got everything done, and then everything went into. You can use the innovations are there. Anything can be done. Well, friends, I will not take your more time. Before my tough bout starts, if you can ask, if you want to ask questions, I'll stop share so that you can ask me questions. Should I stop the share? If anybody can tell me, Purnima?
Yes, Devi sir. Yeah, it is okay if you can stop now. We'll take the questions.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. That was a very moving talk with a lot of details which common people generally do not know. Thank you so much for shedding light on so many aspects of water harvesting. So we have a lot of questions, sir. I'll take that. So the first one is from Karve ma'am. Can legal action help to push state government to implement their own GR of compulsory rooftop rainwater harvesting?
Yes, Dr. Saab, we can definitely do it. I had approached so many people, including NSSC, by the way, where I am also a member. But somehow, somewhere, I don't know whether I must be lacking on my part. I was not able to push through. Somewhere we've slipped on that particular matter. I went to more on the MIDC, because the industry, I was very much cheesed off with other states' industry is doing rainwater harvesting, rooftop rainwater harvesting. We are not doing anything. How much? About 7-8 years back, MIDC bill used to be about 900 crores. They've got huge amount of area, huge amount of buildings. You go to Hinjewadi, see those areas, and around the Hinjewadi villages are suffering from the water shortage. It is a sad thing. Yeah, Dr. Saab, we can. I'm with you. If you want any details which I can of any help to you, we can do it. We can, and we can definitely, because the GR says so. Why can't builders be taken to the task if they are not able to do it? We approach CREDAI. I had approached CREDAI. I told them through NSCC also, if we train your people, we train your team. If I can train myself, then why not? I'm not, the groundwater expert in a sense कि भाई कोई qualification लेके आया हूँ. We can do it, yeah. So, but they never showed any interest to train their people. And you see, no, I'm not a judge, but still, people used to call me, sir, आप बोलते कि रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग करने से पानी की समस्या नहीं रहती. हमारे यहाँ बिल्डर ने हमें सर्टिफिकेट दिया है, किया है करके हमें तो पता ही नहीं कैसे चेक करते. I had to go there and show them what is the rain water harvesting, what they have done. They do just eyewash, and as a result, they get NOC. How they get NOC, I don't have to spell on the public forum. लिफाफा इधर से उधर होता होगा, and then that's the end of it. We can, Dr. Saab, we can definitely, and I am with you. We can find out a lawyer and we can take the government to the time has come. Probably this webinar was, we can initiate through this.
Sir, another question: is mandatory retrofitting of individual water meters in older apartment complexes a possibility?
It is a possibility. Nothing is impossible. But then imagine, first thing is rainwater harvesting systems are done right now only on the old buildings. Because पानी की समस्या है, old buildings. Now fitting that, now there are two problems. One is, are you going to have one single meter, which we were telling the corporation, have a single meter for the society? The water has to come into the society, isn't it, through a PMC pipelines as per the authorization. Authorization depends upon the number of flats. There is a particular mathematical model. Depends upon that, you get a 2.5 inch pipe, 1.5 inch pipe, half-inch pipe, like that. So that means they know how much water is supplied. And then the bill can be, the bill can be subsequently divided by the management committee and money can be taken from each flat. Definitely it can be done with this old buildings or new buildings. Earlier, good old days, when I was in Kolhapur, I'm talking about the 50s, they had the water bill, there was a water meter. अरे घर में water meter था. Corporation का वो municipality का आदमी आता था, पानी का बिल देख करके बिल देता था हमको. My dad used to pay. So it is doable, not that difficult. Yes, next question.
How can we prohibit car wash from corporation water?
Yeah, we can definitely. I had done it right from that, the 2003. 3 days a week, I say. वो बोलते हैं अभी मेरे से झगड़ते हैं, बोलते हैं साहब पानी तो इतना ऊपर आ गया, अभी 12 घंटा पानी मिलता है बोरवेल से, अभी क्यों नहीं धोने देते? मैंने कहा आदत डालो, आदत रखो. Be firm, you can do it, यार, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. You can do it. Plus you give incentive, you get 5% property tax rebate per year. All the 57 flats they are getting 10%, 5% for the rainwater and 5% for compost pits. Since 2009, we are getting both of them. We are getting 10% property tax rebate. It is doable, unless if you tell them, inform them. There are problems. People are not saying that, नहीं sir, आपने कर दिया, हमारे पास से मुश्किल होती जा रही है. Differs from person to person. But सारे बैठ के हर चीज का हल टॉक से निकलता है, झगड़े से नहीं निकलता यार. Next question.
Is direct feeding of underground aquifer with harvested rainwater okay?
Yeah, because like I'm not a geologist, but what are more than 660 projects now I have done in 6 states. No adverse effects have been seen by me or have reported to me by anyone. So I take it for granted. It's a doable and workable model. I always request people who are geologists, please tell me, if I have done something wrong, I have got no right to do anything wrong and to play with the mother nature's aquifers. I got absolutely no right. But when I was doing it, I took maybe those days like a Fauji, I took a calculated risk, and that has paid off so far. Now, imagine 2007, 2003 to now, 18 years, nothing is gone, 13 years and nothing is gone wrong to my borewell, our society's borewell. So I take it for granted that, and imagine, ask yourself a question. कितनी बारिश होती है यार एक दिन में? टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में या सकाल में आता है, कल 5 मिलीमीटर बारिश हो गया, 25 मिलीमीटर बारिश है, बहुत ज्यादा बारिश हो गया। अभी 25 मिनट का मतलब क्या हुआ? इकट्ठा 25 मिनट तो गिरती नहीं यार, है कि नहीं? मे बी इट इज ओवरकास्ट स्काई एंड यू मे गेट 2-3 घंटे में बारिश हो जाएगी। चलो 2 घंटे में 25 मिलीमीटर, इसका मतलब घंटे में 10 मिलीमीटर या 12 मिलीमीटर, 10 मिलीमीटर कैलकुलेशन करके कर देते हैं, तो मिनट में कितना हो गया देखो, और कितना पानी बह के जाएगा। इट इज नॉट अ वाटरफॉल व्हिच गोज इनटू योर एक्विफर, वाटर इज ट्रिकलिंग डाउन स्लोली। It is worth seeing it. It is literally worth seeing it. Because sometimes those who can come, I'll share with Purnima whatever has been done in our society, just 2 minutes video. Sometime I'll share it with Purnima, then all of you can have a look at it. Yes, it is. There is no harm.
Sure,
So
sir.
far, no harm.
You can post the link if you want in the chat box. We can do that.
Okay. Now don't ask me these
If
questions.
it okay, no problem, Colonel. You
I
continue.
won't be able to do anything like that.
Okay, no problem. Yeah.
Sir,
Next
there are a
question.
few more questions. Yes.
Please.
So this separation of solid liquid toilets, is there a possibility, or how can we extend this in urban areas? How do we mainstream this? Have you met senior government and policy people who are thinking on these lines?
The question is not clear to me.
Sir, the solid liquid separated eco toilets is a great solution, which was mentioned by you. How
Yeah.
do we mainstream that? Have you met senior policy advisors or government officials who are thinking on these lines?
You know, when the eco-friendly toilets, when the liquid portion is treated already, then it is separated, and then other things solid goes into the composting or whatever fashion they do it. I don't know, because it is basically whatever water we receive is a white water. What is get converted into washing and bathing is gray water, and then to the toilet goes is black water. Generally we avoid, but with systems coming in nowadays, there are some ways where we can do these things. Possibilities exist. That liquid portion of it, truly treated. I always tell people, even the rooftop water, when it is going through into a borewell, I always tell every year, that same month, you take out the water from your borewell and get it tested for hardness testing. Similarly, water coming from these areas, also I tell them, take the chemical analysis done and then try and use it for any other purpose. Government policies, pardon me, Isha, it is, because they go into, the requirements are too many.
Mm-hmm.
They ask me for so many documents to be submitted to them. Colonel Saab, ye kar rahe ho, ye bhi la ke de do, wo bhi la ke de do. I stopped working in Bombay. I stopped taking projects in Bombay with almost 16 years. 2010 or 11, I took a last project there. Because they say, sir, हमारा एक सेल है BMC में, वहां पे जाके आपने अपने प्रोजेक्ट करने के बाद वहां जाके उन सारे डॉक्यूमेंट देके उनसे NOC लेके आना. मैंने बोला थैंक यू वेरी मच यार, लेट मी गो बैक टू पुणे, आई विल डू इट देयर ओनली. आप लोग अपना करते रहो, बिकॉज़ देयर इज एक्सचेंज ऑफ मनी. I shouldn't say, but that is a fact of life. So Isha, here this is only what I will be able to tell you. अच्छा याद दिलाया. I never spoke to you about the grey water. Grey water recycling has to be done. Per person, 65 liters is a not small amount. Sometime back, about 7-8 years back, if my memory stands corrected, in 8 multi-story building in PCMC area, they tried this stunt. They designed the system that they collected the grey water from these 7-8 buildings and supplied it them to the for flushing purpose, gardening purpose, and car washing purpose. That recycled water, and they reused it again. We have to do it. Otherwise, water is going to be a major crisis. Our water demand is going to double in next 5 years only by 2025. Not very far. कहाँ से पानी आएगा? अपने आप को पूछ के देख लो. एक ही सप्लाई सोर्स है रेन वाटर. उसके बाद जो नीचे हमने छोड़ के रखा है उसको तो हम खींच ही रहे हैं, बता ही नहीं कुछ. My grandchildren will say, यार बूढ़ा खा के पी के चला गया, मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं छोड़ा. ये सच्चाई है. I'm not joking, but it's सच्चाई है.
True, sir.
So whatever source we get is a grey water. I forgot, unfortunately. अच्छा किया, ईशा याद दिलाया. We have to use that also. But now, new buildings, yes, you can do. Old buildings, it requires money. Next question.
What are the alternatives to flushing toilets in apartment complexes?
I'll tell you one simple, costly. It is, you are traveling in the aircrafts. You have
Yes,
seen the toilets?
almost most of us. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
we
you have seen the toilets.
Yes.
I went to China. Most of we stayed almost for 10 days. I was there in China. And again, I used to ask these questions there. And there I found that most of their 5-star hotels have got this system only. Imagine how much less water is required for flushing. They use the compressed air, which is in the aircraft also is used. Vacuum is created and then it is sucked. Yes, there is a solution. Maybe 5 to 8 years or 5 to 10 years down the lane, I visualize that coming in without any doubt. Next.
Right.
Isha, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We'll take one last question and we will keep the remaining rainwater harvest related questions for the end of the session because we'll have to move to the next speaker. So Isha, let's take one last question and then move ahead.
Yes. How much is the cost to have a small rainwater harvesting plant, in situ?
I was expecting that question. I thought this is a common question, and why not? One should ask. In Pune, my experience for so many years is, I'm talking about Pune because we are in Pune. Varies from 12 rupees a square feet of a rooftop area to about 50 rupees a square feet of rooftop area. 10 to 12 rupees is the independent bungalow. And 50 to 60 rupees is a multi-story complex. Because the location of borewell is far off, more pipes are required to be done. Aesthetic building designs have come in. So there are ducts through which the rooftop downtake pipes are coming in, and then there is a lot of work to be done on a retrofitment. So the cost goes up. But otherwise, the normal small buildings or independent bungalows, 10 to 12 rupees is more than enough per square feet. That means suppose 1,000 square feet of a rooftop area is there. 12-15 हजार रुपए में आपका काम आराम से हो जाता है. किया है मैंने. Kadakwacha side में few buildings. My own friend is there. He is also building. We have done small buildings. No problem at all. It is doable. Well, I have shown you what is required. You have seen. छत दिया हुआ है, pipe दी हुई है. We are putting a small filter, and at the end of it, because then there's no mechanical energy involved. There's no electrical energy involved. It's a gravitational force through which the water comes from top and goes into the groundwater, underground aquifer. End of it.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you so much, sir, for all this.
Yeah, thank you very
brilliant
much.
insights.
And please forgive me. I generally I don't peel off during the meeting, but pardon me. Let me go now. Stop. Call it a day. Purnima, Dr. Saab, forgive me because my health is not that 100% fit. So if at all people have got some questions, leave it with Purnima and she will send it to me and I'll definitely try and answer you. But I'm very happy you people have shown some awareness. That means मेरा lecture सुना था. I'm happy. Thank you, friends. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Davi sir. And I will share the questions with you if possible.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Maybe. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
So grant me permission to leave, Purnima.
Yes, Colonel. Yes, you can leave.
Okay,
And
thank
please
you.
take care. Please take rest.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, sir. This was an absolutely insightful session with
अरे
the
यार श्रीवंकन नावरेकर सर जिनका वो है ना
yeah. So we'll quickly move on to our next speaker, Priyadarshan Sahasrabuddhe. Before I hand it over to him, just let me introduce him to all of us. Priyadarshan is a social impact entrepreneur and also an alumnus of IIT Bombay. His work is to basically develop solutions with which we all can live sustainably. He has successfully eliminated LPG from his list of fossils and has complete confidence that all of us can do the same too. Today, he's going to talk about how we can manage our own sewage sustainably. And he's just going to explain what a pleasure it is to do that. So I'm expecting a lot of insight from this session and handing this over to you, Priyadarshan. Please take over.
Thank you, Saili. And friends, I'm going to make this really fun for you. मी आज खूप धाडस करणार आहे काही बाबतीत. Let's see how it works out. Purnima, can you please present?
Yes, you want me to play the video or the presentation?
Yes. As an option, we'll begin with a video. I think,
Okay.
Yeah, videos speak louder than words, and this is the zamana of videos. So let's begin with
With the video. Okay. I'll just share the screen. Is it audible?
not, yes.
मेरा पापा देश चलाता है, नहीं है नेता, लेकिन देश को वो चलाता है। वो डॉक्टर भी नहीं है, लेकिन रोग भगाता है। मेरा पापा देश चलाता है। वो पुलिस में भी नहीं है, लेकिन देश की गंदगी मिटाता है। वो आर्मी में भी नहीं है, लेकिन गंदे शैतानों से जंग लड़कर आता है। मेरा बाबा देश चलाता है। अगर नहीं जाएगा मेरा बाबा काम पर, तो रुक जाएगा इंडिया का हर घर। ना बनेगा खाना, ना होगा नहाना, सड़कों पे मच जाएगी भगदड़। बच्चे स्कूल नहीं पहुंचेंगे, ना ही डॉक्टर अस्पताल, मंत्री मंत्रालय नहीं पहुंचेंगे, और पूरे देश का हाल हो जाएगा बेहाल। हम सब की जिंदगी को आसान बनाता है। मेरा बाबा वो काम करता है जो देश का कोई भी बाबा करना नहीं चाहता। मेरा बाबा देश चलाता है। क्योंकि देश अपना गीला और सूखा कचरा अलग नहीं करता। मेरा बाबा कचरा, गटर और बीमारियों के अंदर जाता है और बहुत बीमार होकर निकलता है। कभी कभी लगता है मेरा बाबा बीमारी से हार जाएगा। कभी कभी लगता है बाबा लौट के घर नहीं आएगा। मेरे बाबा को बचाओ, इस देश को सिर्फ मेरे बाबा से मत चलवाओ, क्योंकि देश को देश का हर आदमी चलाता है, क्योंकि देश को देश का हर आदमी चलाता है।
Okay, I'll share your PPT now, Priyadarshan.
Yes.
Okay, you can see this, right?
Yeah, but this is not the first slide.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm handling all my PPT. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sure this video touches all of us somewhere deep inside. And while our toilets are clean, they are just clean inside our house, but it is at the expense of lives of people. So my today's presentation is about this water, which we call black. It's also called black water because maybe it's considered the worst thing that we have created. Next slide, please. I want to take you all back to school now that all schools are closed, but let me just take you back to school. And I want all of you to hit your chat, use your chat option and just tell me who said this? तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आजादी दूंगा. Who said that? You can just put it up in the chat box. Great. So we have answers. Good. So looks like we had some good time at school. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you another question and you have to tell me who said that. Purnima, next slide. तुम मुझे 108 ग्राम पानी दो, मैं तुम्हें 180 ग्राम ग्लूकोज और 292 ग्राम ऑक्सीजन दूंगा. Yeah, right. I said it. But wait, it's not yet done. Okay, there's picture abhi baki hai. Next slide. इतना ही नहीं. Next. Sorry, I made a mistake in the previous. 292 ग्राम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हवा से निकालूंगा. So as many of you have said, this is actually a tree speaking. Not just a tree, any leaf, any little shrub, any small plant that you see around is inherently capable of doing this amazing magic. Next slide, please. And which is actually called photosynthesis. And believe you me, we learned this in class 8th. But we just don't derive any meaning out of it. Looks like schools are actually unnecessary, and I really love the fact that schools are shut right now, because I sometimes wonder whether they gave us anything of use. So this is basically photosynthesis. 108 grams of water combined with 264 grams of carbon dioxide gives us 180 grams of glucose and 192 grams of oxygen. Except that I read recently in a WhatsApp forward that this oxygen doesn't come in cylinders, unfortunately. So out of this, the only variable that really is in our control is water. And only that person will know the importance of water, at least in two ways. One is who doesn't have enough of it. And two, one who knows one who needs it to grow something. And which is how we always feel that water is actually a problem of farmers, because they are actually connected to water much more than we are, because they need it for growing, as if they need it. It's needed for all of us to grow our own food. Next. So now I'll ask you, all of you remember the story Mirror, Mirror on the Wall? Who is the most beautiful of them all? So now I would like to ask you, which is the most dirtiest of them all? Of all the water that is discharged from our house, which amongst these would you rate as the most dirty? And you can just type in the chat box. Okay, that's interesting. A lot of people feel, a few people have said it's bathroom and washing clothes, and just one says toilet. Okay, so basically, if you have ever looked at sewage, what really comes to our mind is the fact that it contains toilet waste. And that is a sewer in which the person from that film was actually entering. And although that documentary spoke about the fact that we even put plastic in our sewer, and yes, that is of course definitely a complex problem, but primarily there is sewage waste, human sewage, and that is what they are entering into. And several people die every year while cleaning sewage waste. Okay, and so although, yeah, many of you think that it's bathroom and washing, let me explain to you how you are actually right. So let's go to the next slide. And I'm going to do something very different on the next slide. And maybe after the presentation, you can tell me whether what I did actually made sense to all of you. So I'm going to go multilingual now, and I'm going to sing a favorite song of mine, a Marathi song. एके दिनी परंतु पिल्लास त्या कळाले, एके दिनी परंतु पिल्लास त्या कळाले, भयवेड पार त्याचे वाऱ्यासवे पळाले, पाण्यात पाहताना, पाण्यात पाहताना, चोरुनिया क्षणैक त्याचेच त्या कळाले, तो राजहंस एक. I'm sure all my Marathi friends know which song this is. It is from Eka तळ्यात होती बदके पिले सुरेख. And I can relate a lot to this song, because I have been myself in a moment where I experienced these few verses. And that moment was about, I think 6 to 8 months back, maybe a year back, when me and my friend, my colleague Gautam, we had set up a sewage biogas system at my farm, and we actually opened up the system. And we were so psychologically trying to prepare ourselves to open that system, and we had worn gloves and put on a mask, because we were expecting something really terrible. And when we actually opened it, there was practically nothing inside, and there was no smell. There was nothing. And that was a moment of eureka, if I may say, when I realized, why was I expecting something? What can be more natural than human sewage? That was a very, very big eye-opener for me when I actually realized, sewage is like the Raj house. It is not something dirty as we had thought it was. It was only because we were managing it in the wrong way that it had created this psychological and problematic image in my mind. And that increased my confidence 1,000-fold to actually implement these sewage systems everywhere. At the same time, this Mera Baba Desh Chalata Hai documentary had come up, and it had always, on the one hand, I felt that the sewage biogas system was an amazing solution. We could completely stop putting sewage into the drainage. But on the other, what troubled me was that what's the point of developing a system unless people actually use it? So being a social entrepreneur, just developing something which is useful is not enough. We need to actually make it happen. We need to actually ensure that Mera Baba Desh nahi chalayega. Next slide, please. So I'll just show you how our sewage biogas system looks like. This was our first installation, and as an entrepreneur, this is one of my very happy moments that we were able to convince another person to actually pay for this and install it. So this was installed at, the name of the person is Purnima ma'am, Purnima Shastri, and this is at her new house. She chose to set up this biogas system for sewage at her home so that she did not have to put the sewage water into the drainage. So basically, if you can see, there are two tanks. It's a double, it's a flow system with two chambers. And if you can see on top, that is the balloon, which is going to capture the gas, which is going to be used directly to cook. And the water which comes out is going to be directly used to grow food in her garden. So there will be zero sewage discharge into the drainage system. In fact, she will be growing food on that water, and that water is filled with bacteria and the nutrition from sewage, which includes NPKs, which is essentially manure. She is going to get cooking gas. Next slide. This was our second installation. It was at an ashram shala. This ashram shala has around 65 students. And all these students were part of this installation. And they also set up a food waste system. So it's these kids who are now going to know that sewage water is not something that we put in the drainage. It's a part of their school. So the most satisfying thing about this was these kids are going to know that this technology is going to help them save water and make their own energy. Next slide. I'll just explain what is the impact of such a sewage system. So the impact of this system is, as I said, there are 65 students. If they use about 10 liters of water maximum to flush, we are going to get about 650 liters of water, flushing water every day, which will add up to around 180,000 liters to 2 lakh liters of water, which they will get every day 650 liters for their own surroundings to keep it green, even in the hot summers. So their surroundings are going to remain green throughout. And I have another question for you. You can type it in the chat box, or you can just answer it for yourself. What do you think is the energy potential of this sewage biogas system, which manages the waste of 65 students? Okay, in terms of cylinders per year, how many cylinders worth energy do you think they will produce from this system? So just make a guess for yourself. You have think of a figure. How many cylinders? I will answer this. You can also put it in the chat box. I'm asking you this question because it will, so that you will forever remember what is the power of this system in terms of energy. Okay, Ashutosh says 50. Okay, thanks Ashutosh for being so positive. Yet, it's not 50, it's about 12 cylinders per year. Hey, but 12 cylinders is not less, that's a lot. And most importantly, these kids can say कि because of in their school, मेरा बाबा देश नहीं चलाएगा. There will be no sewage system. And I think this is a beginning towards actually achieving that dream where we will stop throwing water in the sewage. Next slide. Yeah. So if you would like to set this system up for your home, or if you run a hotel, wherever in your housing society, if you know people who would benefit from this system, please get in touch with us. And these are our contact numbers. Okay. And we would really like to make this dream come true of actually sustainably managing our wastewater in the future, which is filled with a lot of potential of saving water for our garden, as well as saving our cooking energy. And before I conclude, actually there was going to be another session which was going to talk about natural cleansers, but unfortunately Shrikant Navrekar, who was going to present it, had another engagement at 7 o'clock. So I will just pitch in about his work. Okay. All this is possible. Okay, when I set up the the sewage biogas system for my farm, I used it directly because I was not using any cleanser to clean my toilet. I used to simply clean it with a brush. And I have been using a brush in my home also to clean my toilets. Harpic is just not essential. But many of us, or in the big bad world when we go, people still, it's a psychological need that we need to use some cleanser. Okay. And Shrikant Navrekar, they have created some amazing natural cleansers. Actually, he's working in the field of sanitation for the past 35 years. His mission is clean India in the truest sense. Okay. This is his passion and mission first, and also his profession. So much so that his email address is also safaiwala@gmail.com. So they create these natural cleansers. Yes, we can also use bioenzymes. They make these natural cleansers, and I will put up a link on the chat box where you can go and you can actually get your own natural cleansers. They deliver it at home. Okay. And with these natural cleansers, you can use the sewage biogas system directly. Okay. If you use harmful chemicals, there is a high possibility that the sewage biogas system will not work. They also make natural cleansers for utensils washing and for clothes washing, for washing clothes, which we can put in our washing machine. And yes, thanks Ashutosh. If you want to become a climate cooking ambassador, please contact us and we could make that happen in the next month. We could wean you off fossil energy for cooking within the next month. And we'll also set up a sewage biogas system for you. So yeah, with these natural cleansers, we can directly use our utensil cleaning water and our washing machine water, and we can actually grow food or grow greenery in our campus, in our building, on our terrace, in our balcony, in our garden. And when we actually start growing, that's when we'll realize the importance of water, which I explained to you in the photosynthesis equation. तुम मुझे 108 ग्राम पानी दो, मैं तुम्हें 180 ग्राम ग्लूकोज, 292 grams of carbon dioxide, oxygen, sorry, and I will sequester 264 grams of CO2. We can actually realize the power of photosynthesis by managing our own water and not making it dirty in the first place. Yeah, thank you so much. And I really hope that people come forward to realizing this dream and to say कि in my India of the 21st century, मेरा बाबा देश नहीं चलाएगा. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyadarshan. It was a great knowing this effort of yours, and I'm sure many more takers would be there for this. Thank you. We have one question from Karve ma'am, and she asks, what are the challenges that you envisage to implement this at housing society level?
Okay. I think the biggest challenge is getting people to use natural for their toilet. If we are able to convince all the family members, I would say 90 to 95% of family members, 5% idhar udhar chalega, but 90 to 95% to actually use natural cleansers, we can actually start generating 10%. So yeah, we can start using sewage biogas systems, and that entire water can be used to flush the entire garden of the society. So the core question is to get people to shift to natural cleansers and of course build consensus. But
Yeah, convincing people to take this step.
yes, because in a society, the toilet is cleaned at an individual level. But you know, this problem does not exist for a hotel. Because in a hotel, the toilet cleaning is done by the hotel staff, not the user. So in a hotel, we can definitely put sewage biogas system.
Excellent. So there's one very nice comment by Neeta Ji. She says that she tried to use bioenzymes plus Rita for washing clothes in washing machine, but due to COVID and some medical restrictions at home, she had to switch back to using detergent. But all these small steps do count.
Yes,
there's a
bioenzyme also can be used. Yes, if you're using bioenzyme, we can directly use that water for gardening, for sewage biogas, definitely. Great.
right. There's a question from Amit. Assuming that energy conversion is a process. Sorry, I just need to frame this question.
Okay.
Is a lossy process.
Yeah, is a lossy
There
process.
is loss in the process.
Yeah, there's yeah. Can this biogas be generated to drive generators and produce electricity?
Oh, yes, it can be. Biogas generators are available, but like you said, that the energy conversion there is an inherent loss, significant loss associated with the process, and we need a certain threshold. The generators, electricity generators that are available today are slightly bigger in scale. So when we set up for individual level or hotel level or a society level, that generation will end up to be too big. Okay. Having said that, that is an opportunity for the climate entrepreneurs. And the dream is ki, imagine a generator which fits in my hands. That is the size of generator I need so that I can make my own electricity also. So this is a call to the climate entrepreneurs to fill this gap.
Right. So Priyadarshan, I'll just add one comment here. I have seen one biogas plant in Pune from which they generate electricity and power street lights.
Yes.
So definitely this can be done at different levels and capacities. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, Isha. So electricity generation is very much possible, but the scale, the size of the plant matters in that case.
Right. It does. It does.
Germany, for example, generates about 4% of its electricity on biogas. Can you imagine? They have huge plants, 20 lakh liters, but we need not go the German way because we don't need big plants. We can set one up in our balcony also, thanks to weather. Unlike
right.
Germany.
So I think that is all the questions, and there are very interesting comments in the chat for everyone to go through. If there are any more questions, we can take it, or I'll hand over to Purnima. Okay, there's a quick question. Does natural cleansers kill harmful microbes?
The harmful microbes. I don't think so. Not to my knowledge.
Is Kavya ma'am trying to chip in? I'm not sure. Not able to hear her.
Yeah, actually, I think she left the meeting. So
Mhm.
maybe her connection may be bad, but yeah, she was trying to add something.
Yes.
I guess she will be back. But yeah,
Right then, Purnima, over to you.
yes, thanks a lot, Isha. Yes. So guys, you can keep on, we have time. So if you have any questions, comments, yes, they can come in still. So I think we have one question. Thanks, Gautam. Was thinking of rural areas where power cuts and erratic supply are an issue. So there, I think this can help in electricity generation, I think.
That is true, Amit.
Oh,
Yes, that is
yeah,
true.
yes. But even I think it's even challenging given this COVID situation where everybody is busy using all the sanitizers and like like it's in a way it is toxic. But yeah, we are overloading our systems now.
True.
What would you say on that? Any comments, Priyadarshan?
I recently read a WHO study where it said that COVID is spreading primarily through air and not due to surface contamination. That's an interesting scientific evidence, and I hope that gradually we will be able to use less sanitization, and the focus will go back primarily to masks to avoid airborne contamination.
Yeah.
That's my view. I mean, but yeah, the science is developing. Our knowledge about COVID is still developing.
Okay, just a sec. I think Karve ma'am is here. I'll just check if she is able to.
Yeah, Samruddhi, how
mute
to
herself.
convince members when natural cleansers are costly than regular ones? Samruddhi, call me. Okay, we will find out a way. Because the world has convinced us to do really stupid things, such as use Harpic. Okay, I'm sure we'll find a way for people to use natural cleansers. Okay,
Yeah.
let's figure it out.
Yes. So yeah, Karve ma'am, would you like to please? We are waiting for you.
Yeah.
For your comment.
Sorry, my connection is being erratic today. I was just saying that once you have biogas, there is always this question arises that why not make electricity? And therefore people want to go for large. I mean, that is used as a justification for going for large biogas system. And then you get into this whole issue of aggregating waste and transporting it, which is just sheer madness. When you do it in a decentralized manner, you cannot make electricity. You have to use the biogas for thermal energy use. But you need to think of it in a different way. If I want to make electricity today, I have several options, even at a decentralized level. Whereas if I want to replace cooking gas, what options do I have? So you have this renewable way of without changing your method of cooking, you get a renewable fuel to cook on. That has a value of its own, because if we are moving into a fossil fuel free world, then it's not just about electricity. We also need fuels which are renewable, and that is why it is more important to find thermal uses for biogas than to do this multiple conversions and get into a lossy process. So that's also another consideration there.
Yes. And folks, just let's look at the fact that our sewage will not go into the drainage. Let's just focus on that. Everything else can be sorted. What to do with the energy is an easier question to solve.
Yes, thank you, Priyadarshan. Thank you, Karve ma'am. I'll just do some announcement before people leave.
Yeah,
So we
please,
need a
one
group
second.
picture. Yes,
One second.
yes.
I just want to make an appeal to everybody.
Okay, okay, please do that. Yeah.
I am making this appeal. I never make these kind of appeals. Okay, but this is people who volunteered to enroll for an Earth Week meeting. So I would appeal to all of you that tomorrow is Earth Day. Okay, and we already know how to get you out of using fossil energy for cooking. Okay, it's just time to pick up your phone and dial, and we'll be there and we'll make it happen for you. Let's walk the talk. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll post my number also. Okay, since I'm making this personal appeal.
Yes, yes, Priyadarshan, please do that. Somehow I'm not able to enable the chat to copy. So if possible, guys, please take a screenshot because the chat is not like you cannot copy paste from the chat. Zoom webinar doesn't allow that somehow. So I just request you to take a screenshot so that you have the numbers. And we are also posting this social media links and the web pages of our collaborators here, so you can go through them as well. Yeah, and I request everyone to please turn on their videos so we quickly take a group picture.
Purnima, what are you doing with all these group pictures? I haven't seen those pictures at all.
Yeah, we'll post it. We'll post one collage of all the pictures. Okay.
And after COVID, we'll all meet in Pune at our cafe.
Yes.
Food on me.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Okay, so just give me a moment. So I'm taking the picture now. Okay. Thank you. Just hold on, guys. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll just post the links now, and like so tomorrow, as part of the Earth Week, tomorrow we are going to kind of release action videos. Like we had asked people to share some of their actions that they are doing in their day-to-day lives, which are earth friendly. So we are planning to broadcast those actions through our social media and YouTube. We will post the links in our WhatsApp groups and like all these handles, which I'm posting here now. So please feel free to join any of our platforms. We are there on WhatsApp, Facebook, Signal, everywhere. So I'll just give me a moment. I'll just paste those here.
Yeah, so tomorrow we are not having any webinar, although
Yeah.
in the Zoom invite you may see the date. There is no webinar because many people would be doing a variety of events tomorrow. So we are sort of ourselves also wanting to participate in other things. But the videos will be premiered tomorrow evening. And on Friday, we have another event happening, which is mainly for architects, but those who are interested can also join there. Purnima, perhaps, have you shared information on that? I don't know. But anyway, you will be.
We will share it tomorrow.
Yeah, you will receive notification of that also. And on Saturday, we have another special event. So this is one full week of daily activities because of Earth Day. Please give us your feedback also. What did you think about this initiative so that we can further improve on this, decide if we want to do this kind of an intense 1 week or a few days of activities focused on various issues. So do give your suggestions and feedback also to Purnima. And that's
Sure.
it. I guess.
I will be sharing a feedback form on our groups, on WhatsApp group and Telegram, everywhere. So yeah, please join us there. Okay, then I think if there are no other questions, comments, we can close today's session. And if anybody wants to say something, you can unmute yourself and talk. If I'll just allow that.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Purnima, so yesterday, there was this question about, the recyclability of the materials that you're using, and I don't know who spoke about that we are using metal stainless steel, but it still gets
Yes.
corroded because of
Yes.
the use. Okay, so since we were talking about bioenzyme today, and I keep doing a lot of things with bioenzymes, I make it at home, and I keep experimenting with it, because it's actually something which not everyone knows about it. I mean, it's still not scientifically accepted by all communities and all the thing. But I found one thing, when I came to Bombay, because Bombay, and we are very close to the sea, all my metal stainless steel, even my microwave and my oven, they started getting this rust on it, because of the, it gets rusted very fast. And I found out that when you rub this raw bioenzyme, if you try to clean it with a raw bioenzyme, the rust goes away easily and it does not come back so easily, you see. So that is one
Okay.
thing maybe you can work on. And this has happened with a lot of my stainless steel. Like I have these coasters and all the thing, they started getting those rust marks. So I clean it up with that, and it takes another a month or more than a month for rust to again reform. Maybe that reaction stays away for something. So I wash it thoroughly with the bioenzyme, and then the rust doesn't come back. So maybe you can work on that, since you have a research
Yeah.
institute, you can do it, and you're
Yes.
working with stainless steel, you can work it. It does wonders. I mean, bioenzyme, the more I'm using it, the more wonderful thing I get out of it. I posted that thing that I'm not using for my clothes because my husband is a doctor and we having COVID patients in
Yeah,
the hospital.
yeah.
So I've switched back to detergent. Otherwise, it was doing wonders for my clothes, and even the texture of the clothes and everything. I felt that it was far better than using a detergent. But utensils, I'm still using bioenzyme. I don't use soap at all.
No, what you are saying
Amazing.
is right, but our problem is slightly different. This is because we are using, and it is not stainless steel. Mild steel is used for making the charring kiln, and even the grate which gets corroded in the cooker. That's not the stainless steel part. What happens is when you have burning carbon in contact with steel, carbon dissolves in steel, and that the chemistry of the steel itself changes. So it's an entirely different issue here. That is why we are having to replace these materials at a fast rate.
Okay.
So thanks for sharing that, Neeta. I think it was a good information because none of us here know about like bioenzymes and then its applications. So thanks a lot. So tomorrow, one of our action videos, one person has shared the making of bioenzyme. So
Okay.
it's good to have that. So we'll be
All right.
showcasing that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thanks for that
Okay.
comment, Gautam. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So see you tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow, on Saturday, Friday and Saturday.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you
Thank
all.
you. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night.